Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with your host, Paraka the Goblin.
And Ghost, your co-host.
And today we will actually be talking about some stuff that's kind of like more of a memory for us. And that is about basically video game and all sorts of other pop culture conventions.
Episode 43, Get Conned.
So basically, we're just going to talk about our general experiences with conventions right now. What's your background with conventions in general?
For me, the ones I mostly go to is anime cons, of course. I haven't been to a game one or like a board games one yet. I don't know. We'll see in the near future, I suppose. The one I usually go to is Non-Desicon in DK in Denver. Back when I was a kid, we used to go there as a kid, I guess. When I was 16, basically. Still a kid, I guess.
Back in the day. When we were still young and dumb.
Yeah, I would go like every year. And then there's also WasabiCon, which is like the midpoint. Because it would be like WasabiCon and then 6 months later, NDK. So, but yeah, it's been a while since I've been to one. What about you?
It's been a while too. Actually, I didn't go to many as religiously until I, of course, met you. But before that, I actually did a couple. Like I used to help host a lot of friends' booths at like armor cons and stuff like that. So stuff for like shooting ranges and basically like tactical survival gear and stuff like that when I was younger. But then I also did a lot of like video game stuff. Mm-hmm. I actually went to a couple local tournaments and stuff like that when I used to do and then play Smash Brothers Melee locally when local tournaments were far more a thing than national tournaments are now. Mm-hmm. And that was just something I did, earned a few bucks on the side, but still would go around and see some stuff and kind of, I've gone to a couple and just to see what's improved upon and stuff like that, but that's usually what I end up going to.
Okay.
So, as far as that goes, like, what's been one of your favorite type of cons?
I mean, I guess the anime conventions. I don't know.
Okay. So why anime conventions?
Why anime conventions? Maybe it's just because they're really laid back, and then everything else is just like it's not just strictly anime. It has like mostly anime themes, but everything else just kind of flows into it, I guess. So
and I've seen that quite a bit too, for good and for bad. And
yeah,
I think I will break that down about that in a bit. But yeah, no, I've seen a lot, like even video game conventions, like you're starting to see a lot more like anime stuff too. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, there's anime video games, but there's people wearing stuff from like the manga that even the anime hasn't covered yet, which also means the video game hasn't even been made for. So there's stuff like that you see and you're like, and like you just kind of like shrug it off for the most part. Like it's just one of those like, that's weird. Why is there so much anime in this one? Or why is there so much like video games in this Comic-Con? Like it's all blending together now.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of like a pop culture thing. Mm-hmm. But there's hopefully like there's still major like themes for whatever you go to. Like you don't want to go to a Star Trek con and like see over half of it being Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like you don't want Star Wars and Firefly and all this other like space stuff overshadowing your Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel about it. Like, yeah, anime can come there, so comics and other nerd stuff. I'm fine. I'm welcome that. But when I want to go to a video game con, I want to see just mostly video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go to a burger place and then all they offer is like tacos and one cheeseburger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
No, I know what you mean.
But yeah, like I always liked that, and one of the things that tripped me out for like the video game ones is like seeing the new waves of what's competitive. Like I've seen competitive Cooking Mama.
Yeah.
Because of that. Yeah. Like back when it was like the very first game of Cooking Mama, and like there was only like probably $150 prize pool. Like it wasn't huge, but there was like 17 different people there, like playing Cookie Mama professionally. Like that was big. Like okay, and there's speedrunners and stuff now too, and like obviously they've done like Cookie Mama speedruns and stuff, but there was like competing against one another. You know, like that's kind of insane. You know.
Also reminds about the Sailor Moon fighting game because it's so broken that they actually have actual tournaments for it.
Yeah, about how broken it is. Yeah, and like that's the thing. I like that. And then the other thing, like I didn't see this personally, but I started growing from like the online end is seeing the custom Mario levels.
Yeah, those are
like
insane.
those speedruns. Like those are insane. Like those are crazy, right? But apparently they've been going on for a while. I'm like, dude, I would have like watched this in absolute awe when I was like in my prime of going to those conventions.
Which also reminds me about the Smash combo tournament because they got to bring that back. I want to see.
Oh yeah, the combo tournament was kind of neat too. It wasn't even like it wasn't a deal with any type of other thing. It was literally just combos, combo something.
Guys, get a chance to watch it. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, if you see like that, that's actually kind of entertaining because instead of like choosing the meta character, you know, like the meta changes a bit more because of that. Like there's certain like moves that don't launch things that like you use in actual competition that you don't use. Otherwise, you push the character too far and you just fuck up your combo.
Yeah,
like that's just it's insane to watch. But yes, like those are my stuff. What about your most memorable moment?
Oh man, okay. So,
everyone buckle up, I guess.
So talking about WasabiCon, let's see, like after NDK, my friend told me about WasabiCon, and it's kind of like it's basically like half the size of what NDK was. I don't know if it's still going on. The last time I heard it is, but by name, only because they got caught selling bootleg merchandise, so they got in trouble. So basically what happened was I went there like 3 or 4 years, and then my 4th year it was really, really nice. Like I just saw it slowly getting bigger. My 4th year I told my sister, you guys got to go because it's really, really good. It's half the size, and the events are just as good because my 4th year was just unbelievable. And then the 5th year came, they got in trouble, and my sisters showed up. Like, all my friends showed up, and I think you showed up too.
Yes, I did. That was the first time I met you too.
And it was abysmal. It was...
It was like literally 3 hallways of a hotel room, and then like there's like two lobbies that there was access to,
and that was it. Yeah. Oh man.
I was like, this is very small, and what's going on? And then like you were profusely apologizing and stuff. I'm like, no, is this how it always? And like once we were done, you were like, no, and like broke down everything, and I was like, that sucks.
Yeah, it was.
Yikes!
It was on its way to get really, really big too because everybody was super eager to go to Wasabi, and then man. Because it was just NDK, but a taste before you go to NDK. Because NDK is a huge deal here too, because it's one of the biggest ones in the Midwest. So there could be bigger ones now, but
there could be, especially nowadays and stuff too. But it's really hard to tell with the coof going on, quote unquote coof. But yeah, no, that's. It was interesting. I was able to go to my first NDK when I met you, and then the Wasabi, which was weird for me. Like it was an interesting one because I wasn't entirely sure what was going on because it felt very, very not happening.
I know. Like, so basically, everybody showed up.
Like everybody was all disheveled and like kind of awkward. And
it was only like
that,
an hour
except for the furries.
Yeah, it was like an hour long. It was like, okay, there's nothing to do. Last year was so good though.
It was an interesting experience, especially with that start.
Yeah, I swear, guys, it's doing the thing. Look, okay.
I swear it was doing the thing last week. But all right, well, I'll get into mine. So basically, the reason why I actually started going to some of the like other cons out there was I used to play extensively with a group of people in World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. So my guild mates became, very close friends, and we played other games across the board and stuff. And got to a point where one of the times we saw an opportunity to kind of visit, right? And we visited. We actually knocked it off. It was actually really cool. Like we resonate pretty well, and we do all sorts of crazy antics together. By the way, if you ever listen to this, hello, Saber. and we actually like started going to one of the conventions. It wasn't a really huge one, but it was actually like popular enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was enough stuff to walk around and go into and stuff like that. And my friend started kind of just, soaking in his very first experience because he thought it was a great experience to go to and stuff like that. And coming down from the mountains, I have a higher propensity to alcohol, so he kept trying to drink me under the table at first, and it didn't work. But we had fun. One time, one of the panels we actually got along with was one of their improv ones. It was like, I think it was like Penguin Knife Fight or something to that point. My memory could be phasey on that, but it was absolutely hilarious. And then we got like along with a lot of the cast there, and we were actually hanging out with them after hours and stuff like that, and eventually ran into this one creepo guy, which that should have been a red flag for us, but we were all pretty tipsy. Started talking to us about the fact that a local strip joint had a promotion for all the people going to the con and stuff. You go there with your badge, you get like a little cover fee off and all this stuff. Like there's all sorts of stuff, right? So eventually it was me and my friend Saber that finally says, like, the light's still young, we should probably just check it out, see what's up. We were just more out of like by this point we were all funned out, but we were really curious of what they were going to have to offer. Like we weren't excited or anything that way. Like it was morbid curiosity. This was a very curious state with a very curious, very dirty streets in their city, and we decided to go. Nobody was going to give us a ride, so we walked there, which was not far, but
okay.
It was just past an underpass hiding behind a White Castle. I don't know about you, but we should have turned around right then. But so we went in, and lo and behold, there was a very dim lit room, obviously. Got to hide the bullet wounds. And there was a little pool for beans and weenies in it and stuff, and apparently a couple of feminine satisfaction tools. So we were there for a brief period, got a couple really expensive beers, and then the events started to happen. So they had Spider-Man come in to play referee for two women who will eventually wrestle in this big kiddie pool of beans and weenies. And they will slap each other, and it will get so gross and disgusting that was kind of like a weird, like, whipped cream kiddie pool of beans. It was...
internal screaming.
It was absolutely horrifying.
Oh my god.
Me and my friend tried to find a way to get out of there very nonchalantly. Because it was, like, even the women weren't even that great, but... like all these other guys were like, yeehaw, and they were like in the front row, and like I got splattered a little bit. I'm like, this is gross. I want out. I want out now.
Oh man.
And so we finally go, and the story now like kind of still makes me gag. Like it's actually kind of hard to tell this story without kind of stopping, going bleh. Like it was wretched. It was like the most horrific thing, but it's been a story ever since. Like we just don't talk to people that are semi-balding. Let's just say that. If he looks like if he looks like a short stack lurch that you bought off a Wish, don't listen to him. Don't listen to anything he has to say because it ain't gonna be good. So yeah, that was my that was one of my stories, and yeah. It's still one of the ones that I do not think will ever happen again. Like I don't. But beyond that, what do you feel has changed for everything since then? Like,
Normies ruined it.
Right. Oh, normies.
Because I think it's people who come into the whole culture of conventions and they don't quite understand it, and they're like, we need to change it.
Well, not only that, I think a lot of normies who come in don't understand, like a lot of people who have like a huge passion for something. Like if you go to a Star Trek, you're gonna see a lot of Trekkies, like a lot of Trekkies that just like go full bore and like enjoy themselves like they're in the world. And to be honest, like those people should have the space in order to freely do that. But they also they should have the right to kind of criticize people who just come in just to look like a cute girl in a Trekkie outfit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it becomes a landmine of who actually understands, Star Trek for you. So you can talk Star Trek. Same thing with video games. Same thing with comics. Same thing with like certain types of like pop culture, like Harry Potter. You don't want somebody like me dressed up in a Harry Potter outfit but know nothing about the school I'm wearing or anything. Like, oh, did you know about Huffle? No, I don't.
So with normies coming in, it kind of seems like it's just it's kind of what started the whole like everything kind of coalescing into this nerd culture type of convention. So
this broad stroke thing.
Yeah.
And like on top of that, I actually think in a way you can actually even say that some normies are doing the gatekeeping now.
Yeah.
Like, you're not allowed to know that much stuff, and if you do, don't talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was a huge fan of, say, Battle Right, and somebody was wearing some suit, I should just be like, nice shirt, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not allowed to talk about Battle Right to that point, because if I find out they don't, then they will feel bad because I don't want to talk to them. You know what I mean? I'm like, gatekeeping from the people who actually like the stuff sounds good in that aspect.
Yeah.
But I think what's worse than normies, because normies will, like, eventually you'll see some normies that, like, I'm fine with normies finally learning some, like, stuff and getting passionate about whatever. You know?
It's how you get like, new people into the into the
like,
into the
definitely thing. And like, but I do think a lot of the corralling around normies to protect them is the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah,
like if they can't handle the push, then they shouldn't really like be at the place. Like they should, like they can still orbit and enjoy their Harry Potter movies, but if you go in and see a Potterhead and they start blasting you with all sorts of like school curriculum and crap, you're not going to handle it. You can still hang out and just like watch the movies and stuff, and still talk about movies with other people like that.
I guess they just don't quite understand the atmosphere, but
and I think that's the case. The other thing, though, the thing I actually think is a lot worse, and then I think I've been seeing it a lot more lately, is the thought advertisements. The women who come around that are basically wearing as scantily clad as they can, as bodily and revealing as they can of whatever. Like they won't care if they have to gender bend or anything like that, because they know they're not going to get criticized. But they turn around and be like, "Don't forget my OnlyFans."
I blame weak men.
I
blame the weak men.
I do blame the weak men. The weak men that are simping is hard, and it's all your fault. Like, we have to deal with these people when we don't even want to care with them. Like, we don't. And then it's always, they just walk around acting like they know everything. Like, oh my God, she looks so good that way. And everybody's like, oh yeah. They even charge, like I've seen them charge for photos and stuff too, because that's just the way they are. I'm like, not just like, oh, can I take a picture because that outfit's cool? Because I like a lot of creativity. Like, I've seen a woman, and I think it was actually NDK, that had that full Totoro dress.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I love the people who make talent and that make stuff that just looks amazing and creative. I'm fine with people who want to do certain things. I'm fine with people who want to do like a retro steampunk or cyberpunk Zelda. You know. But as long as it looks good, I'm gonna be like, dude, I want to take a picture. That looks amazing. But
at the same time, too, I guess it's not bad. Like, you're there for a business, which is not a bad thing.
If you have your booth and stuff, but there's so many now.
It makes like an interaction cheap. Like, hey, I'm Ghost. Hello, Paraka. Thank you for meeting up with me. That'd be $10. Like, what the hell?
That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then like, on top of that, like, more and more people are taking up booth space to just advertise that you can see their bodies and the way they want to see their bodies for $5.
Nobody cares.
Nobody really cares. Nobody of any worth and any value actually genuinely cares. But they're taking up so much space, and that's the problem we're seeing a lot. And then on top of that, with normies and they want to talk about social things, they bump out fun panels.
Yeah.
One of the recent pop culture conventions that we had, they canceled I think it was kind of like a what was it, a lip syncing like panel. It was like a humor panel. They canceled it not because they were like canceling it because they hate the people or whatever. They canceled it because they wanted to make more room to discuss another like inclusivity panel that like we already had 16 of.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was, each one had their own, like, there was only 4 panels that wasn't like talking about pure inclusivity,
And that's kind of an
and
issue
diversity.
too,
And
because
that ruins the fun, because you can't just go and have fun now. You have to go there and get told to as to why you're just a horrible human being.
yeah, it's
Like,
stupid.
that's dumb. I'm a goblin. I don't care.
I'm already dead. I don't give a shit.
So, but no, I think that type of stuff is like that's the stuff that's happening. That I think is soiling what conventions are. And then you've said something about online before.
Yeah, basically, like my biggest concern is that do we need conventions now? Because I remember my friend saying the biggest reason why we go to convention, why we go, was because of the dealer's room. Because this is way before online shopping even became a thing, and you would go to the dealer's room and you would just have all this cool stuff, and then you go to the panels. This is even before YouTube too, and they have cool panels that you could talk and nerd out and stuff. Now it's like, looking at all this stuff and the descriptions on what this panel, this panel in room B101, we're going to talk about this. And you're thinking, I could just look this up on YouTube now. Yeah. And then anything you buy in the dealer's room, it's overpriced and it's cheaper online because you don't have to pay for the booth space. Mm-hmm. So,
well, the problem I have with that, and is like a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, well, we don't need that now because we have these other like social contracts and a way to contact." Is you don't get to discover things.
Yeah,
like you don't like. There's like think about it. Like I like the artist alley. I like to travel back and forth of artists. In fact, if it wasn't me traveling back and forth, that there was a couple comics that is self-published by this one woman. She's pretty like well off and stuff, and she's fine. Her artwork is very semi-anime-esque and shit, but the story is actually, I like it. I like the story. It's not the greatest, but I like the story, right? I would have not ran into her if I wasn't just roaming up and down. And when you have YouTube and you have like the certain like storefronts, digital storefronts, you just have to type in what you want to see, and you get directly there.
Yeah.
You don't get to discover anything else. Like,
yeah.
For us as a YouTube channel, like, if we were at a booth, there's far more likely more people would probably see our stuff and talk to us and see us and actually click on our links and go to our links and listen to our stuff than if somebody saw our suggestion on the sidebar.
Yeah.
It's just simple because they will look at some of our stuff, even though we will have some kind of clever quip or it might be a topic they actually like Pokemon and stuff. They might not click it because they don't know us, and it's not guaranteed. But when they come through and they're seeing all sorts of stuff, they're experiencing all sorts of stuff. Everything there is almost like a new experience for people.
Okay.
Even when you're seeing your favorite artist, it's still a new experience. It's still going to a thing that you don't see of your artist.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that, and I think
a new experience and meeting new people too.
Mm-hmm. And
I
like
gotcha.
really like think about it this way. What feels more vital to a social interaction when you resonate with somebody online and somebody likes some of the stuff you say or share, or somebody that goes, dude, that's awesome, did you ever play this and this too?
Yeah.
Like Kingsfield, if you ever met somebody in person with Kingsfield, like how would you feel over that than somebody going, man, I miss Kingsfield on one of your things as a comment?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's why conventions will still be around.
Okay.
But that's kind of part of my end thoughts there is I do worry about the thought brigade taking over too much to a point where it just kills enthusiasm beyond people who are desperate for feminine affection.
Gatekeep like crazy.
Gatekeep is good. Don't like this channel is almost going to be not monetized by the stuff we stand for. Let's just be real here.
Yeah.
Gatekeeping is good. Period. But no, like I literally think that's the situation and stuff, and I do think there's and I think there's still a future for conventions.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your thoughts?
I like to see where they go. You do make a pretty good point though, so hopefully they stay. I would really like to see the younger generations go to conventions because it's something that you can't quite It's something that everybody has to experience. I guess it's really fun.
It's kind of like a concert too.
Yeah.
You don't. No matter how good your audio system is, it can never replace the sense of a concert.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
the atmosphere is really good.
Like the concert might not be for everyone. Let's be real. It might not be for everyone, just like cons might not be for everyone either. But at the same time, it's worth at least an experience to understand that type of intensity. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not like super intense, like it blows your mind or
It's
anything
good
like
to
that,
be
but
among your people.
it's a huge good experience for people, and I think it's really important for people to have. You know, and I think it'll still stay around if Generation Z is still kind of open to that idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they still want to actually talk to people and stuff like that, that would be great. But I think that's where we're going to stop here. I would like to thank you all for listening, and if you like what we say and do, feel free to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Remind us, share us the videos, and support us on other social media that we have listed below, and
we will see you on the other side.
Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.